We all notice the constant presence of police dogs alongside police officers or any security authority. Any person entering a shopping mall, hotel, or another facility will find security personnel at the entrance of the parking garage with a group of trained police dogs. Before any car enters the garage, it must undergo inspection in 2 stages. The first stage is the regular manual search conducted by security personnel, while the second stage involves police dogs circling the car for a more precise inspection. If the dogs remain calm after inspecting the car, this means the situation is safe and there are no issues. However, if they start barking loudly, it indicates something unusual about the vehicle. But what's the story behind police dogs? How do they manage to detect drugs, explosives, or other materials that could pose a threat to public safety? And with the technological advancements of our era, why do we still rely on dogs instead of replacing them with electronic means? Hello everyone, I'm Jimmy. But before we begin, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated. As drug and explosive problems increase, and the conflict between law enforcement and smuggling gangs intensifies, each side resorts to tricks and methods to achieve their goals. Drug cartels strive to develop ways to hide drugs from the eyes of security personnel, and over time, their methods improve. On the other hand, security agencies also work to enhance detection techniques and make every effort to catch smugglers red-handed. Recently, security agencies around the world have begun relying on police dogs to detect and locate drugs, following studies and practical experiments proving their high efficiency in this field. This is due to the natural traits God has given these creatures. Dogs possess an extremely powerful sense of smell, while humans rely on sight to recognize things around them. Dogs depend on their sense of smell, which is often compared to human vision in terms of exploring the world around them. To give you an idea of how strong a dog's sense of smell is, let me share a fun comparison. Imagine a bowl of soup made from 10 different types of finely chopped vegetables blended into a liquid. A human smelling the soup would perceive a single uniform scent. However, a dog would be able to distinguish each individual ingredient. Police dogs have a sense of smell thousands of times stronger than humans. Add to that their high physical strength, sharp alertness during the night, loyalty, obedience, and ability to undergo training, and you'll see why they're perfectly suited to join security forces, particularly in inspection roles. Now, how do police dogs manage to detect drugs? It all comes down to their powerful sense of smell, but proper training is key. First, the right breed of dog must be selected, one with an exceptionally strong sense of smell, since this varies from dog to dog. After selecting the appropriate breed, the dog is trained to sniff out specific substances. The process itself is simple and not overly complicated. The trainer starts by letting the dog play with a specific toy repeatedly until it becomes familiar with it. Let's say it's a piece of cloth tied to a rope. The trainer allows the dog to play with this toy day and night until it forms an attachment. Once the dog is attached to the toy, trainers begin adding specific scents to it, which are the substances the dog will later be tasked to find. Afterward, the piece of cloth is hidden, and the dog is asked to find it. Using its sense of smell, the dog eventually locates it, and the trainer rewards the dog by playing with it again. The main principle here is associating finding the toy with a reward. making the dog excited to search for it. This means the police dog you see performing its duties courageously isn't doing so to catch criminals or punish them. It simply wants to find its toy. After training the dogs to search for their toys among drugs and prohibited materials, they must be acclimated to perform under police conditions. Dogs need to be able to carry out their duties despite pressures and loud noises, because gunfire might occur during their tasks. For this reason, during training, dogs are exposed to gunshots and doors opening and closing loudly, helping them adapt to such situations and ensuring they're fully prepared for police work. Some people believe that police dogs refers to a specific breed used by the police, but this belief is incorrect. There's no breed called police dogs. It's just a term used for dogs employed by security agencies, regardless of their type or breed. Law enforcement uses various breeds, such as Dobermans, Boxers, Wolves, and German Shepherds, the latter being the most commonly used in police work, leading some to think they're the only police dogs. In reality, other breeds can be used as long as they meet certain criteria, like having a strong sense of smell, being male and between 8 and 14 months old, not fearing loud noises or gunfire, and remaining calm and balanced, not aggressive, since they'll operate in public places like malls and clubs where large crowds gather. One intriguing question people ask is whether police dogs become addicted to drugs since they constantly sniff them during training and inspections. Could they become addicts? The question seems logical, but the truth is that dogs don't get addicted because they're only exposed to minimal amounts during training, known as safe limits, which are nearly invisible but sufficient for their extraordinary sense of smell. According to the National Institute of Standards and Technology in the United States, dogs can detect substances even at extremely low concentrations, equivalent to dissolving a teaspoon of sugar in a large swimming pool. Therefore, even a tiny amount of drugs is enough for them to identify the scent. During inspections, dogs may encounter larger quantities of drugs, but another factor is considered time exposure. As soon as the dog detects drugs, it's instructed to move away from the area and signal the officers through specific actions, like barking or sitting, limiting prolonged exposure to the drugs and preventing addiction. And with that, we've reached the end of our discussion. If you've made it this far, you're amazing. Don't forget to like the video and share your questions in the comments. See you next time.